After losing 3 key players in the summer, finishing 7th place for the second year running and missing out on European qualification by only 4 points, you could have forgiven the RC Lens supporters for thinking their period of progress was ending and for being a little pessimistic ahead of this campaign. However, those losses have not had a negative impact and the Sung have once again started this season strongly. Lens are undefeated after 7 games, winning 5 and drawing 2, and are currently sitting in 4th place in Ligue 1. Yes people, and welcome back to another Football Manager video where we're going to recreate a tactic from real life. So we're going to analyze that, and then in Football Manager we are going to recreate that and check the results that we did get. This tactic was recommended by some of you viewers as well. I believe his name is Franck Haise. I'm trying to brush up on my French pronunciations. Sit back and enjoy the video. If you think you're going to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up right now, but also in the comment section leave your recommendations which team or tactic I should do next. But for now, let's get stuck in. Don't know why I winked. This season has seen Franck Haise stick with his preference for the 3-4-3 and 3-4-2-1. The 3-4-3 and 3-4-2-1 that Lens implement are similar. The 2-3 Roman number 10 support play out wide when Lens attack through the wide areas, making it look like a 3-4-3, but they can also position themselves centrally to support play through the middle of the pitch, which makes the formation look like a 3-4-2-1. The system provides a good balance between defense and attack, as Lens like to keep possession and control the games through possession. This system allows them to attack with 5 players as the wingbacks join the attacking line. In Ligue 1 so far, Lens have accumulated 59% ball possession. A crucial factor in Lens' attacking game is how well they build up. They like to use the full pitch in the first phase of the build up, ideally looking to progress up the pitch from the goalkeeper and then through the centre backs. The wingbacks are also positioned very high during the build up, and the reason behind this is so Lens' wingbacks can pin back the opponent's fullback, stopping them from pushing up the pitch and pressing Lens as they build up. This has a positive knock-on effect for Lens across the pitch and provides them with more space to be progressive. You can see how one central midfielder has pushed up to create a 3 versus 2 central overload, which then allows the 2 numbers 10s to push out into the half spaces. This creates the opportunity for Lens to build up through wide channels with an extra man. In possession, they like to play it purposefully with passes in between the lines and in spaces of the opposition's defensive shape, looking to take full advantage of the space with good off the ball movement. To enable this, they aim to be creative with their passing. A particular trait within their attack this season has been getting behind the opponent's defense, playing through balls. This season, Lens have averaged 8.4 through passes per 90, which is the 5th highest in Ligue 1, and they have the highest success rate with 55.6%, as they are always looking to penetrate opposition's defenses with passes into dangerous areas. Defensively, Lens offer variety when defending. When they lose the ball, they will counter press and look to win the ball back immediately, but when the opposition holds possession, they fall back into a well-balanced defensive shape the 3-4-3 allows. Franck Haise does adapt his defensive tactics to match that of the opposition they are playing, although the adjustment is how high up the pitch they hold their defensive block. They allow the centre backs of the opposing team to keep possession without putting any aggressive pressure on the ball. Instead, they keep their defensive shape and look to protect the centre of the pitch by cutting off the passing lanes through the middle of the pitch. This is to encourage the opposition to play out wide, which then triggers the team to press. Once the opponents enter the second build-up phase or building up from the middle of the pitch, Lens' defensive block shifts from a 5-2-3 to a 5-3-2. So that was the Franck Haise tactical analysis written by the Total Football Analysis, the website, and the link will be down in the description below. But for now, let's get stuck into Football Manager. Welcome to Football Manager, and right now you can see the Lens Club info screen and the media prediction. We are predicted to finish 15th, so keep that in mind when you do check out the results. But for now, we are going to check the tactics. Let's not waste any time. There are 2 versions though, 2 versions. One when you are playing at home, or just majority of the times when you are the favourites, and the other is when you are playing against teams like PSG, Monaco, Lyon, especially away from home. The bigger teams, basically, the bigger teams where the lines have dropped and and we are becoming more counter-attacking. We can start off with a mentality which is set to positive. The attacking width is set to wide so we can build up in those wider areas just like Franck Haise does in real life or Lens do in real life, but we can also create those wider overloads, and when we do pass the ball into space, because we do have that instructions, hopefully the area that we are looking to play those through balls are in those wider areas. We are also going to play out from the back to help us be a little bit more possession based. The passing directness is on slightly shorter whilst the tempo is on slightly higher. During the season, I rarely changed any of these team instructions. In the final third, we are putting in low crosses as well, but we're not working the ball into the box, running at the defense, or any of those instructions. We haven't used any of those throughout the whole season, and well, I don't plan to start. In transition, when the possession has been lost, like we have touched in the tactical analysis, Lens will look to counter press. When the possession has been won, I didn't feel once we did win the ball there was enough attacking quality or enough attacking purposes. Once we got the ball, sometimes we just play the ball back into the centre back area, then into the wing backs, and we just couldn't get the ball forward. I do feel that counter does help us just a tad. When the goalkeeper's in possession, he will look to distribute to the centre backs and take short kicks whilst doing so. Out of possession, for the line of engagement, we have set this to lower. This hasn't changed. Again, another instruction that hasn't changed throughout the whole season, and it shouldn't. If you want that Franck Haise feeling about your tactic where your strikers don't engage in the centre backs and you're just cutting off the passing lanes, then I will advise you to never change your line of engagement. But your defensive line, now this can change. If you are playing against fast strikers or against a 4-4-2, for some odd reason I really struggled against a 4-4-2 until I set my defensive line to lower. So if you're playing against really pacey attackers or against a 4-4-2, then I do advise you to drop your defensive line to lower. For majority of the games or for the away games, I started at standard, but when I felt that we were the favourites and we can be a little bit more proactive, then I set my defensive line to higher. Defensive width, again, this is down to your preference. You can set it out wide just like Franck Haise, but in Football Manager I felt we gave the wingers or the wide men a bit too much time, considering we only have one wide man on each flank. If there was wingers, then possibly we could force the opposition on the outside, and maybe naturally we have that tendency to force them out wide anyway because of the bodies that we have in the middle. For the marking and tackling, we are using tied to marking. The trigger press is set to more often, and for the tackling, stay on feet, just to put a bigger emphasis on not getting stuck in, but actually just cutting out the passing lanes and making it very difficult to play through. So that there are the team instructions. Now for the player roles and their instructions. In goal, we do have a sweeper keeper on support. I mean, no explanation really needed. I use that because I liked it. In the back three, the two wider defenders are just central defenders on defend, but they are instructed to stay wider. When we are building up, they are going to help us by stretching the pitch, and so for that reason, they need to stay wider. In the middle of them though, we do have a ball playing defender on cover. Now this guy will have a decent passing range, and he can actually start off some of those counter attacks, or he could just bring the ball forward and help us progress with play. The two wing backs are wing backs on attack. They are being asked to close down more, but also take more risk as well. They can be a little bit more creative in possession. In central midfield, our double pivot, we do have a deep line playmaker on defend who is also going to be closing down more, but the main purpose of this guy is to drop deeper and kind of make a 3+1 build-up shape, trying to create some overloads when we are building out from the back. And his midfield partner is a central midfielder on support, nothing fancy, but he is being asked to close down more. Now moving into the attack line, the attacking midfielder on the left hand side, someone that's a little bit more cautious because he's got to drop back and actually help us create that 5-3-2 shape out of possession when the opponents get to the second build up phase. But he's going to be taking more risk on the ball, running wide with the ball to help us create some wider overloads. He's going to roam from his position but also close down. Actually no, he shouldn't be. That should be removed, and what should be on is stay wider. Now the shadow striker on the right hand side, he's going to be running wide with the ball, roaming from his position, staying wider and closing down more. Practically the same things as the attacking midfielder, but the attacking midfielder, he's just got to be more supportive and drop deeper when the opposition are building in the second phase. Now lastly, for the striker up top, we do have the advanced forward who is going to be dribbling more. Now this depends on who you've got. So someone like him, you will want him to dribble more, but someone like Buxer, maybe not. But my striker throughout the whole season was Florian Sokota. Now Can he dribble? Not really. It's not really a strength, but it's not really a weakness. And we just kind of took advantage of that instruction. So that there is the tactic all wrapped up, the instructions, the player roles, everything you need to know. Now we can move over to the away tactic. Actually, it's a little bit different. We have removed play out from the back in this version. Also out of possession, we have dropped our defensive line to lower, and it's going to stay on lower as well. It really is. But that's really the only difference between the two tactics, as we can see here. And that wraps up the tactics. Now we can move over to the results. So in the first 3 games of the season, we did play Lyon, Angers and Toulouse, and well, the season started really well. As we can see, the first game here, we beat Lyon 1-0. They did get a man sent off, but we were 1-0 up already. But you can see statistically, the game wasn't really exciting, but let's watch our goal because it was a decent one. So here's Cabot on the corner, he whips it in, Lyon head the ball out, and it falls to Pereira da Costa, who just picks up the ball and smashes it. What a hit. The second game of the season also wasn't the most exciting. Angers did have 6 shots at goal, but 0 of them were on target. Now this goal was scored by Claude Maurice, who was easily my favourite. Actually, no. Take that back. I'll take that back. Tell a lie. Gal Kakuta was my favourite player. He's just fantastic in this game for some odd reason. But a close second, it is Claude Maurice, and this free kick is one reason why. The goalkeeper, by the way, looks like a referee. What a free kick. Crossbar it and in. The third game did see more goals. 3-0 to Lens. But again, statistically, it's not the most entertaining games that you are going to see, though Lens did play some entertaining football. Considering there's more goals, I have slowed down the pace for these highlights here. Sila loses the ball in possession to Pereira da Costa. Fofana plays a lovely ball over the top into space. Attacking that space, there is Openda burying the ball. Now into the 88th minute, I believe Openda scores his second goal, but here's Cabot out in that wider area. Pereira da Costa, there's that nice little wide combination. He plays it into Openda, and there we are, 2-0. Now for the third, here is our little counter-attack. Pereira da Costa, you can see not the whole team attacking here, just a couple players, but Maurice, again my favourite player, just smashes the ball into the net. You might be wondering how we'd fared against PSG, especially away from home, and well, yeah, this was the result. PSG did score from a set piece themselves, Kimpembe with a far post header. Yeah, that's what happened. And then Mendes is on the ball here, driving down the left flank. He plays it to Sarabia. Mbappe inside the box. He plays it to... It's a beautiful goal. To be fair, it was a beautiful goal. But I guess I could save the best to last, right? Lens beat Strasbourg 4-1 at home. You can see Strasbourg, annoyingly, 1 shot, 1 on target, XG of 0.01. And they come away with a goal. So yes, there is a reason why I wanted to show you this game in particular, because we did see some of our nice tactical principles play out. So here is Cabra out on that the right flank, obviously. He's just driving. He whips the ball into the box, and there is Sokota. I definitely pronounced his name incorrectly, but he nods the ball in. Here's that. Now, this is their equalizer. Now, watch this absolute outrageous header. Here's Fila. I've got a pair of Nikes and Filas. And what a header. What a header as well. Wolves should have signed him. But here is our goals now. Here's Cabot, Claude Maurice with a lovely through ball. 1 goal was a goal from the flank. A second goal was a goal from a through ball. How was the third one? It was a beautiful goal. Here's Cabot with a throw in. I say it was a beautiful goal. It's probably from a set piece. I think it was. Here's Claude Maurice now, whips it in far post. Sotoka. I believe that's his name. Here's Cabot out on the right wing again. So you can see how the flanks are very, very important. He plays it back to Sokota. Sokota gets his shots blocked, and then Pereira da Costa knocks in the rebound. So you saw some of the goals, especially from the opening 3 fixtures, as you can see here. We did beat Strasbourg away from home 1-0, but we lost against Lorient at home, and you can see some of the results as well. One thing you will have noticed is a lot of nils. So we have a lot of clean sheets. I believe, don't quote me on this, that we have the most clean sheets in the league, and we might have broken a defensive record here as well. We could have possibly broke a defensive record. We did make the Coupe de France quarter-final, getting knocked out annoyingly by Monaco in the 80th minute. So looking at the competitions overall, you can see in the Ligue 1 Uber Eats, Lens finished in a very impressive 2nd place. So Champions League, you're having a laugh. Champions League. I'll see you there. PSG though, you might have noticed, again, no losses. They completed the season unbeaten, and like we've touched on in the quarterfinal of the Coupe de France, we got knocked out. So PSG did score the most goals in this league with 121, Lens in 8th place with 53. That might possibly be the least goals I've scored. Now, that doesn't mean this tactic wasn't entertaining. It doesn't mean that at all. Actually, if we had better players, 100% we are scoring better goals. I know that logic sounds very simple, but just believe me on that. Most tackles won. Who's on top of the league? Yes, Lens on top of the league with 583 tackles won. Most dribbles made, again, Lens with 464. Now, I'm not sure how we got this without even having run at the defense instruction on. Most clean sheets though, it is Lens with 26 clean sheets. We outdid PSG on something, and for the least conceded, it is Lens with 17. Now, I do have to check the record because I will be very impressed if someone had a better defensive record than Lens. So I see most clean sheets by a player in a single season, which is a Bulldog goalkeeper. So I believe we're getting ripped off. This was in 92-93, by the way, but he's got 13 and our goalkeeper has 26. So FM, what's going on, son? Other than that, nah, we didn't break no other records in Ligue 1. So where did the goals actually come from? Gal Kakuta with 16 goals as the shadow striker on the right-hand side. So Golda with 15 goals. I mean, there was only 2 players with double figures. And again, I'm pretty sure we would have scored more goals with better strikers up top. The logic, again, sounds very simple, but just trust me on that one. Jimmy Cabot has 10 assists in all competitions. Claude Maurice has 9. Hadara has 7. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this Franck Haise tactical analysis. If you have enjoyed this video, just give it a thumbs up, and maybe in the comments, just engage, say hello, how you doing? Also, you can send in your tactical recommendations. The key players for this tactics, of course, will be the wing backs. Like we said just moments ago, it's best if your wing backs can dribble, tackle, and cross. Your shadow striker will pop up with some goals, but your advanced forward also needs to be a very good advanced forward. Mine wasn't, and he's still done okay. So imagine if we did have a better one. Thank you for the Franck Haise tactical request as well. I have really enjoyed creating this tactic and recording this video for you guys. Hopefully I get to do more of your guys' requests. I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe. God bless you.